This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is Michael McFadden. He is the CEO at Alpha Cognition Inc. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is ACOG at the TSX Venture. And they'll be doing a presentation at our upcoming SNN.Network summer virtual event happening August 17 through 19, 2021. Be sure to go and check that out at conference.snn.network. With that, Michael, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you. So let's start off if you could you provide us a quick overview and history of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so Alpha Cognition's been an R&D company for about a decade and a half. The company was founded on the purchase of a molecule from J&J and another company in which they started investigating these drugs a long time ago. They've been on that journey for about 15 years to bring us to where we are today, which is 2 late-stage compounds for Alzheimer's, and then 2 early-stage compounds in other CNS neurodegenerative disorders. So the company has gone through renditions as startups do. Most recently, RTO'd into the Canadian Stock Exchange, TSX, and we're publicly traded and listed in Canada as what I would call an early stage biotech with a late stage story.
Very good. All right. Well, I mean, look, the recent Alzheimer's drug just came into the news where it was just approved. The first one, I think, in 15, 20 years, something like that. So how has that news affected your strategy moving forward? And then what about Alpha Cognition's molecules makes what you guys are looking to achieve unique and different compared to, hey, let's say what just got approved?
Yeah, so Aduhelm, a Biogen drug, as you mentioned, first drug approved. We're excited about approval in this respect. Number one, it creates a lot of noise and energy around Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's has been a really challenging field for the last 2 decades. There have been a tremendous number of failures. So I think for investors, seeing a drug approved kind of changes the landscape and focus of other companies that may be in the space. And that's been good for us. We've had a lot of inbound since that drug was approved. From a strategic standpoint, we're often asked whether you disagree or agree whether the drug should have been approved. How does it affect Alpha Cognition? How does it affect Alpha 1062? For us, it's all good news. Number one, the 2 drugs are complementary. They don't compete one against another. Number 2, our drug works on cognitive effects like memory, learning, ability to function. So when a drug like theirs, which is potentially disease modifying, is approved, the experts say in all likelihood, you still need a drug to help your cognition. You still need a drug to help daily functioning, memory, et cetera, which is what our drug will do. So we see it as a good thing. I think third, with the noise, the energy that Biogen will bring to the space, it means a lot more patients will be seeing their doctor for treatment. A lot more patients will look for diagnosis if they're struggling with early stage Alzheimer's, and that's good news for a drug like ours.
Very good. Yeah, look, I try and be an original with my questions sometimes, but I had to ask, I mean.
Yeah, so, I've been asked about 50 times in the last 2 weeks.
I was gonna say, that's it. Michael, speaking of original questions here, what's your background? I mean, how did you come into all this?
Yeah, that's a great question. 30 years biopharma. I cut my teeth in early days with Eli Lilly, big pharma, global, Pharmacia, Pfizer. Spent the first 10, 12 years of the business launching drugs, learning the industry, participating in a lot of commercial activity. And the last 20 years have all been startups. So I'm on my 5th startup in 20 years, Amylin, Avenir, Urovant Sciences, and then I worked for Private Empower last year. All same pattern, new innovation in an existing market with no innovation for a long window of time. And really had the pleasure of launching some great drugs into that type of space. And I feel like I'm doing the same thing again. So if I'm a cat with 9 lives, this is 5th chapter.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, Michael, with that, from what you can tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now moving forward?
Yeah, we've got actually a large number for a company our size. So our lead product, Alpha 1062, late stage for Alzheimer's. we start our pivotal trial the second half of this year. We will complete that pivotal trial in December and release top-line data the first quarter of next year. We'll also file NDA first half of next year for FDA approval in the US. So a lot of catalysts with just that product. Then we have an early stage compound for MTBI, that's mild traumatic brain injury. And we're starting a preclinical study this fall. We'll finish that study before end of year and then release top line data on that study the beginning of next year as well. And then our third early stage program, it's a progranulin drug for ALS. And we have a preclinical trial ongoing in that with that compound, and we'll have top line data release the first half of next year as well. So tremendous amount of studies, large number of top line data readouts, and then actual movement of the programs forward in 2022.
Very good. Well, Michael, with that, where can our audience go and find everything they need to know to follow along the Alpha Cognition story?
It's very easy, alphacognition.com. You can check us out on our website, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Encourage you to follow us on LinkedIn, and you can catch all of the news forthcoming with the company.
Michael, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.